What's up guys, Mike from Slow Speed back here with another video for you. And you know I got another intro for you guys, so check this out, tell me what you think. So as many of you guys know, a lot of you might not, I purchased my big boost turbo kit for my N55 BMW about, I would say, like August of 2019. This video has been very much so long overdue. What can I say? With these kits, these turbo kits, everything takes so much longer. I'm happy to announce the car has been done for a couple of days, and I've driven it enough between the time that the install happened in October and now that it's finally done to kind of give you guys a review what I think about the turbo and if I think you guys should purchase it, to be honest with you, right? I mean, I could have sat down and given you guys a half-ass review like I'm about to now, and I mean, absolutely know nothing about the turbo, the way the car drives, and not its full potential, because, well, I mean, why would you watch the video if you're not curious to know the full potential of the turbo? Disclaimer, it's not turned up, I'm on a base map, so it technically not the full potential. However, you know, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, and once we get there, we'll get there, right? Right now, it's pretty much just the car is stable. The car does not break, nothing leaks. It's good, and take my word for it, it's a good feeling. So my original goal when getting this kit, this turbo kit, is I was gonna actually slap the turbo kit on first, run extremely low boost, I mean the lowest possible, and just modify the car as I see fit, right? So what I tend to do, especially with like suspension and things of that nature, I wanna drive the car really hard, stock, tune it a little bit, see what I want out of it, and then drive it some more, so that I kind of have a better idea of what I want to do with the car or where I want to go. Yeah, that was my plan. It failed miserably. It was so quick before I needed so many other things, especially fueling. Stock fuel pump can't really keep up with the custom tune on these cars, so I did a big boost turbo, and I wasn't able to make really any boost before the fuel cut, you know? The first thing I figured out is the N55s that come in this car right here are very strong. I mean, a stock weak high pressure fuel pump coupled with some slight inconsistencies in tuning, this car had handled running lean like a champ as far as figuring out what was exactly going on with the car. But outside of that, there were no other issues that I've had with this car that wasn't directly linked to the install with like wastegate adjustments, coolant leaks, and oil leaks. The car has remained, I mean, very much so reliable. Trust me, if I broke something, I pretty much tell you guys that it broke. Yeah, nothing. I've changed the plugs a couple times, maybe the coils. I have precision racework coils on the way, so I mean, we could be looking forward to that as far as dialing in the tuning extra. I got a whole lot of tuning options that I'm, you know, going in and out of, trying to find a perfect custom tuner to make this puppy very fast, but also reliable. I'll get into my goals as far as that later, but I mean, it's pretty good. It's not as bad as a lot of people would assume. You know, a stock turbo I think would be the most reliable, then pure hybrid turbos, and then big boost kit. But in all reality, I mean, judging if the install's done right, I think that all these kits can be very much so reliable. The most important things you need to look out for is really tuning and install. Once you do that, I mean, the kit is pretty robust. This kit costs around $3,000 to $3,700. So, I mean, cheap isn't really, when I say cheap, I mean, relatively speaking, Doc Race kits, Speed Tech, and everything of that nature, which cost, I mean, north of $4,000. And you can resort to the pure Stage 2 kit, which are hybrid turbos, and that's $2,500 for pretty much the turbo, and you have to send in your core. So $3,000 to $3,700 for a full kit, manifolds and everything included, is pretty much a good deal considering for what you get. Now, some things about the install you'll notice is that there's a little hose down there, which the PCV right here, the PCV system for this car vents into the intake. You can tell with the big boost kit that is no longer
a thing. So honestly, I think the oil I think all the bovine gas just come out of there and go into the atmosphere. One of the perks of that is that you don't get any more carbon buildup inside the intake because, well, there's no oil going in there. This is the stock diverter valve on what looks like a spacer with a little nipple on the edge right down there. So what that does is it takes the boost where it would normally recirculate back into the intake. It kind of takes that air and dumps it out, kind of like a blow-off valve. Another thing, people recommend upgrading the coils, and I have found that to be the case. These stock coils, these are the Delphi ones you can get from FCP Euro, are perfectly well for running the car with stock or full bolt-ons, but maybe going precision raceworks in the future, just because to eliminate a little bit of that misfiring issue when the load is very, very strong. Other than that, you can see I utilize the stock intake. I will be changing this over. I'm looking for something maybe carbon, so you guys don't steal my idea, but I'm looking for something carbon, not pretty much so for this side, but just this, because I am planning on leaving this open. But I've noticed that many people look inside the whole of the GTS hood, and what would be better to look at than a carbon fiber air intake tubing? So this might be getting swapped for that. And I mean, the rest of this, I'll just pretty much clean this whole area up. I have a little tip that will I will release. Shout out to Nelson, aka Felipe at European Auto. He kind of put me onto this. I'm gonna go ahead and release the video of me cleaning up the engine bay, and like I said, I got something that might surprise you guys to keep it nice and clean.
Now next up is cost, and bear with me guys, because it's gonna get very expensive very fast. Now, you know, we have the turbo kit ranging anywhere, I think from 3,000 to 3,700, depending on what engine configuration and what level you want to go. That kit will be, for the most part, a complete kit. Like I said, go ahead and take it over to European Auto. Charge around 1,700 bucks to go ahead and install that kit for you. So 3,000, I'd say 4,700 to about 5 grand, 5.5-ish. You'll have a fully built car as far as turbo and install goes. But you're not done. All right, the next thing I would recommend is a spool high pressure fuel pump. The reason why I recommend them is because, well, I have it in my car now, and I mean, I've ran it a bunch of times. And just a disclaimer, the last video, some of you guys are confused. It was a software issue. The pump was in fact good. There was just confusion between me and the tuner and what option I should select. I was told to not touch the high pressure fuel pump option. There are 4 options in that drop down. One is OEM, XDI 35, XDI 60, and original. You actually need to change it from OEM to original, which kind of makes, I mean, little to no sense. There should be an option for spool or what the tuner prefers, right? So next up, you're gonna need spark plugs. Now, I suggest the NGK 97506, which are 2 steps colder, but just beware that your car's gonna idle a little bit different from having the Bosch ones. Make sure you have those gaps, because I didn't have those gaps in the beginning, right? Assuming you have all FBO, charge pipe, intercooler, everything like that, the rest is just tuning. You're gonna look for a transmission flash software, engine flash software, and a custom tune. Now those things can vary, whether you want boot mode, MHD, XHP, it varies, okay? I'll break it all down in another video. I just don't want this one to be too long of me talking. I do brake boost. It's on a base map though, low boost. I've yet to send Juan back another map so you can tune it, because I'm going MHD. You know what I'm saying?
Heard that, guys. I'm getting boot mod 3 soon.
Shut the hell up.
Brought to you by Mike.
Brought to you by if you pay me.
Got you, man. You said 20?
Hold on.
Nigga, it feels like we're fucking flying around. Yo, you need new brakes, nigga.
Yo, you can feel, yo, you feel when it slides a little bit, yo?
Nigga, it feels like we're about to fucking take off. I have no idea how to fucking explain it, my nigga.
That's what I said, we need more room. Oh shit, the brakes are done. It's faded completely.
I wasn't stopping? Now I can smell it.
Nah, this is full. This is all the way on the brakes right now. All the way on them. Let's get a little gunshots because we can't speed now. Let's get a taste of these little motherfuckers.
Those are flame.
Yeah. I don't have that on my thing.
You don't?
Nah.
Wait, gotta be coded?
Yeah, I don't like that shit. I don't want to know it's like getting out of a crash.
Oh, nah.
Alright, hold on. Ah, fuck. Oh, fuck. Damn it.
This shit's broken?
Yeah, they broke. Stop asking me questions. Damn.
I'm just figuring all these shit out just now.
Just don't hit that white car. We're going to pass him. Just go ahead. So, let me know when you're ready. You can floor it. Next gear.
Nigga. Oh.
You see what I mean?
I'm good, bro. Nigga.
And that's this with traction on. You see
I don't
when
like
you
it.
Got to do those corrections.
I don't like it, my
nigga.
That's too much. Nah, I'm good, bro.
Make a U-turn.
Nigga, where's your traction?
Punk ass. But you see why I love the big turbo now? It takes a while to spool, but when it spools, there's no beat in that. When you get into look, in the boost.
Stay over there, sir.
Yo.
Stay over there, sir. I'm begging you, please. Stay over there, my nigga. You can't turn this car too fast, so I'll go with that fast, nigga.
Now after the install comes the driving, and it has been night and day. The bigger turbo responds a lot different from the normal baby Borg Warner that was in here. The huge surge of torque during low RPMs, not really there. The car is not really as punchy as it used to be because with the bigger turbo, it has a little bit longer spool times. City driving is where you'll notice that the most. If you're one of those stoplight warriors, you live your life, I guess, 1/4 mile at a time, this car, the big turbo, may not be for you. It takes a little bit for it to spool up. Now, like I said, with different type of tuning, it may work out better for you. And especially this being rear wheel drive, if you don't know how to launch effectively or have the proper tire, you're gonna go ahead and lose. I'll post up a clip of me running this kid Chris with the MHD Tune 340. He's all-wheel drive and rear wheel drive. Getting off the line was so much better for him. Me, I chose not to brake boost it or launch control. I just wanted to roll into the gas. And the launch wasn't the best. However, when boost kicked in, I just spun. So those are the things that you can expect as far as street driving. Now, highway is totally different. This thing is like a Supra. All the cars start out in front, and then give it about like 5 to 10 seconds, and then everybody is behind me. That's just how it works. It's a really good feeling. May not be the fastest thing out there. Obviously, I'm not shooting for that. I'm not shooting for like the most powerful, the most fastest, or anything. I'm just kind of shooting for what works for me, my budget, and what I can enjoy and maintain. Because longevity, we're gonna get into that as well.
Right now, I'm running just a regular base map by Juan and 93 fuel. This has probably been one of the funnest cars I've ever owned in my life. Just all the sounds together, from the turbo, I mean, the wheels breaking, even the high pressure fuel pump makes noise too now, just to let you guys know. But yeah, the high pressure fuel pump, the turbo, the engine, everything comes together and creates like this glorious like soundtrack. I want to call it almost 1JZ-ish, like I always do, but I mean, I gotta start giving N55 credit because I don't know, the N54 to N55, even the S55 really makes a unique sound, and I don't know, I'm kind of starting to enjoy it. I have a custom exhaust here, by the way, so I'll tell you guys the exhaust setup. So if you guys want your car to sound somewhat like mine, you can replicate this as well. It's not a big secret, it's well known out there and online, and it's very cheap. Cheaper than any other exhaust you'll ever build, besides just a regular muffler sleeve. But back to the point, the car sounds so different and unique. Just going in boost, it's really just everything coupled into one. You know, you floor it, you hear the sounds, it breaks traction just a little bit.
With limited slip, it goes straight still, thank God. But I don't know, just even when you let off, you hear the sound from the diverter valve venting atmospherically. It's just, I don't know, it leaves nothing more to be desired. This car is a freaking rocket and it sounds just as good. So I've said it before and now I feel even more confident in saying it today. I prefer this over an M4. Now, the M4 is a totally different animal. On the track, it'd probably kill this car just because it's a lot more balanced. You get into boost a lot quicker. It's more of a technical kind of car. I put this car in a more of a, holy shit, why did you even build something like this category? If you get what I'm saying. It's not really as wild as a 2JZ Supra, but I mean, it's pretty damn close if you really want my honest opinion. Well, it takes a special kind of person to own something like this, to be 100% honest with you. I would say somewhere around the range of 70% of the BMW community or BMW owners would just be happy with the stock turbos that come on these cars. You can get a ton of power just by doing full bolt-ons, and the car will feel a lot different. And you can turn it into a little dig monster, track monster, whatever you want. Now, for the other 29%, I recommend pure hybrid turbos or any type of hybrid setup. Those guys out there just looking for a nice, reliable car to get you to work every day, back and forth. And, you know, looking for that much more power. I would say like 500 to 550 wheel comfortably. Now, you know where I'm going with this. At least 1%, the last 1%, the few of us that are that crazy out here to push the car to the next level. I mean, I guess you'd say the last level, because does it really get any bigger than this? For N55 guys, because I don't want you guys to say, oh yeah, my Pro Charge C6 Corvette could do all that. I ain't asking about all that. I'm talking about BMW now. There's so many car parts available for any manufacturer online, and not every part is exactly the best solution for you. Many people might think so. Just because they offer something online does not mean that, I mean, you should go ahead and put it on your car. For instance, the Go Fast Bits diverter valve. I know so many people that like live by that and swear by that on their vehicle, but they just might not even necessarily need it. Now, the reason why you would get something like that would be, for instance, is because the stock diverter valve cannot handle boost or the pressure coming out of the turbo. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but the stock diverter valves are pretty strong in these cars. I'm running one right now. I may in the future consider changing it because, well, one, I'm on a custom tune and I have a big boost turbo. But a lot of you guys out there that just go full bolt on with off-the-shelf tuning will not really need something like that. If you're in the 99% and you feel like having a good daily drive or just something just a little bit of notch ahead with a hybrid turbo setup, then fine, so be it. You'll be a ton happy with it. I ran my car stage 0, stage 1, and stage 2, and each one of them put a smile on my face. But nothing puts a smile on my face like running this stage 3 big boost turbo, and it's not even turned up yet. So that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope it's not too long. Pretty much all I can say. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out of this one because this camera is actually not dead, but only 1 minute left on the SD card. And this one has a lot of minutes left, but it's dying. So look at that. Mike from Soul Speed, peace out.